Let's do a cheers to the Sobeys and Safe Liquid Beer Release podcast.
Be right again.
I love you guys.
Careful, that cake's hot.
Check-in, come on, let's go. It's the AM Nasty Big Hello.
It's not static, AM radio.
It's the Cool Bed Red Hot Nielson Show. Let's go. Everybody tuning in, even my wife.
Mommy likes too.
And those Macromella intros are cutting like a knife. Hey, it's Mitch texting in, he's your dealer for life. Let's crack at 6 o'clock and log you with some sirloin bites.
Good morning. Welcome back to the Nielson Show, EdmontonSportsTalk.com, the iHeart and TuneIn radio apps, and as well on YouTube. Lieutenant Eric with you today. Jason Milne in place of Dustin Nielson, who will be on the call tonight. Riders Argos to kick off Week 5 in the CFL from Regina. And, of course, YouTube Trev behind the monitors, keeping entire show and station locked down. 6:06, and it looks like we'll be heating up as well, which is music to my ears. 23 for a high today. The Dustin Nielson wheelhouse temperature, if you will. Mainly sunny, a few clouds. But it looks like it's going to be a great weekend ahead. Looks like some great temperatures leading up to the first annual inaugural Memorial EST Golf Tournament going down next week at the Ranch Golf and Country Club. But we had a bit of a taste of the Ranch for EST yesterday for the $100,000 swing to win. And we'll get into more of that. A recap of yesterday, as it were, here in a matter of minutes. You can text anytime, 780-218-9999. It's the Paris Jewelers inbox. Best text of the day will be awarded A&W Text of the Day, 2 A&W Mama Burgers for $9.99. So come hard after the text of the day today, 780-218-9999. And as always, the Nielsen Show presented by South Fort Chev. Go see Daniel and his team at South Fort Chev and tell them Dusty or EST. I want people getting in the habit of telling him Zach sent him.
Yes.
I think that'd be really... And give Zach a bit of a pay bump here, that type of thing. Whatever feels right for you, though.
Get him some commissions.
Well, why not? Some side, as they say.
Side money.
15% off accessories for your new ride right now going down at South Fort Chev. So www.southfortchev.com or visit them out in Fort Saskatchewan, 10109 89th Avenue.
Well, you can tell him Zach sent you because, he wanted you to go in and see all the Nerf guns inside the GM's office, right?
He's not in the market for a new vehicle. He likes just going there and fiddling around with the guns. And
I think what we should do is just the three of us just bomb out there after the show, bring a couple cameras, and have a full-on Nerf fight right in the showroom.
Like set up some pads and some mats, and
it would be like it would be like the setup at a paintball course where you got all the obstacles in the way, except now they're vehicles and brand new trucks.
Yeah, like a dystopian purge type of deal. Where you're in there.
Z71's everywhere.
Yeah, exactly. No, I think, and again, nasties. Maybe if you want to do that, that's something we do with South Fort Chev. An ultimate sports trip of a lifetime with Zach out to South Fort Chev, and you get to shoot Nerf guns at him. Cue up to the right, please. Great show today. Of course, week 5, as I mentioned, kicking off in the CFL. Kind of a football-heavy Thursday, and of course, with Jason Milne here, we would be idiots not to venture into that realm. Glen Suitor will be joining us at 6:40. Dusty's buddy, CFL and TSN. We'll ask what they got up to last night down in Regina. If you know, you know. Luke Gazdic as well. Maybe his last appearance on the show for the season, but maybe not. Luke's been generous enough and kind enough to offer his services throughout the summer. We won't bother him too much, but Luke Gazdic, the final official appearance for Pro-Am Sports, will be going down at around 7:05, recapping Oilers free agency as of yet, what might still be to come this summer, and taking a look ahead at the season to come. As mentioned, it will be a very brief offseason here. So Gaz will have his thoughts on that around 7:05. A Cool Bet Canada hotline of the day from Jay Milne, Glue Guy. He'll let you know which path to the bank, and you can cash in later tonight. I Got Beef, Corey the Butcher and Acme Meats. We'll be going around the horn here, letting you know what we have beefs with, and if you have any beef as well, get it in the Nasty Chat on YouTube or via the Paris Jewelers inbox 780-218-9999. Back over to the Canadian Football League at 7:45. CFL and TSN's Dave Naylor will be by. Of course, the Elks making some news yesterday. They are on the bye week. No action on the field, but off the field certainly, as the Elks acquiring Sean Oakman, as he was released from the Argonauts about a month ago. 3 years in the double blue. Tall tree. Grey Cup champion. We'll get more on the Oakman acquisition with Naylor because it is a bit of a weird one. Off-season, Elks ship Ceresna to Toronto. Curly Gittins Jr. comes back. What about the D-line? Well, now you have one of the best defensive linemen that graced the double blue here over the past couple of seasons on your team. So we'll get Naylor's thoughts on that, how this all transpired, and why Oakman finds himself now in Edmonton. That's coming up around 7:45. Kind of easy trivia. 3 questions too many as well at around just after 8. We'll do a little That Hurts as well. Stingers tickets on the line today. Stingers in action, dropping a tight one out in Winnipeg last night. But we'll have tickets for tomorrow's game. Pair of home games as the Stingers return home. Tomorrow against Vancouver, which is a big one for Western Division standings, and then Brampton on Sundays, both 7 o'clock tip-off. So tickets for both of those games we'll have for you over the next couple of shows. And Scalding Hot Takes, Tournament of Champions, in-season tournament. It is the potholder on the line. I have a lot of... You were in the room last week when YouTube Trev annihilated me. He tombstone pile-drived me, slapped me silly across the face, back and forth, back and forth. It was embarrassing, as I confessed to the two of you. Family members and friends that still won't talk to me during that. So I have to pick myself up off the mat, and we'll see. 1v1, Trev. You coming to play today?
Yeah, this week will be a little different, I'm sensing. I struggled this week to come up with some hot takes, but...
you said that last time, too.
We'll see.
He's
We'll
playing
see.
the game
he's doing the
again.
thing.
No, I'm
He's
serious.
doing the thing.
I'm dead.
Oilers free agency, though.
serious.
That's a gold mine. You should probably...
Oh, okay.
Jeff Jackson.
Yeah, I tried. I just... writer's block, man. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
Something about it, but...
Jeff Jackson, ball size.
Ball size.
I mean...
If you want to pass takes, I mean, look, I
ain't
love the
helping
whole
him.
wrestling angle.
Hey, I
of it
gotta
all.
focus on...
You slam me with a chair midway through, that type of thing. But
I gotta focus on being the best pinter impersonator
you got to be pinter.
I can.
Yeah. And that's a
what I
job in
bring to
itself,
the-
right?
yeah,
I mean,
that's-
as you...
That's what I bring to the table here.
780-218-9999. As mentioned, it is the Paris Jewelers ring box, bling box. It is the Paris Jewelers inbox.
It's the ring box. It's the bling box. It's the Paris Jewelers inbox. And they got lots of fancy shiny things. Look at this, look at that. Not just for the ladies. They got jewelry for men too. The ring box, the bling box, the Paris Jewelers inbox.
PJs, I know we had a listener chime in yesterday doing a bit of an out-of-town tour, popped in PJs. Doesn't have a wedding or anything like that. I think it drummed up memories of a divorce. But whatever. Don't be like that guy. You can head to Paris Jewelers today. 22 stores, 4 provinces across the nation. www.parisjewelers.com. You can find them here, tucked into the West Edmonton Mall, phase whatever it is, but first floor near the east side. Let's get into this thing. $100,000 swing to win yesterday out at the Ranch Golf and Country Club. And we want to thank, of course, Marie McCourt and the staff out there. It's always a great time at the ranch. And even a better time when you're kind of first there in the morning. Parking lot's barren. We had that rain going on overnight, bit of a stormy, but that kind of cleared. The mosquitoes were huge there, which was kind of, for the first taste of the season, it wasn't bad. But yeah, and I want to thank you for the caddy outfit. We'll be having those for the tournament next week as well. But your thoughts on yesterday, how it unfolded? We gave away the $1,000, the KP.
Yep.
Not too many on the green. We had an over-under set during the tournament, right? About how many balls would land up there. But
Murray set that. Yeah, Murray set that at 3.5. He figured, and I mean, I must admit, because I was down there with Maddie while you guys were transitioning down from the deck portion of your show down to the live on the tee box.
Trying to follow
portion.
Tommy driving Jasmine to all the other holes except the 17th.
Yeah, that was just classic Tommy. I mean, you can't make this up, some of this. But anyways, we're down there, and Maddie and I are looking at this, and Murray's. So let me just give you a little bit of behind the curtain.
The merman.
Here, okay? He's a beauty.
Yeah.
But he came out to the tee box, and Maddie and I had already set up the table. Mostly Maddie. I was just following orders.
Supervising.
But yeah, right. Minion,
Yeah,
I think.
yeah.
Murray comes out, and he's like, that tee box isn't right. The markers. Because when it's 180, he says, I'm setting it at 181. Because if somebody nails this, I don't want any insurance people coming back saying, how do we know it was not 179.5. So he always goes 1 yard further. So he comes down to the tee box and he says, nope, this is not right. Just looking at it, we're 180 yards away from the flag. So he then steps off from the back of the tee box forward like 5 paces, and he says it should be right here.
Five kind of.
What you would call paces.
Doesn't really matter.
So then he's standing right there and he guns it, with his with his rangefinder, and he's like, yeah, put him right here.
Hit it right on the head. Yeah. Well, and I don't know. Don't want to guess how many of those that he's officiated, ruled over, or supervised as well. But you have a knack for it. 5 paces, he knows the whole score.
Well, I would imagine he has them at every tournament that he hosts. And boy, oh boy, after the show, Murray and I talked for probably about 45 minutes, just getting to know each other a little bit more. And they do tournaments
it's cooking there
every day.
Yeah.
Sometimes 2 or 3 tournaments a day. I had no idea. But they always bring their own hole-in-one. An insurance company's doing a hole-in-one, or, and they have their own people there watching it. So Murray being involved was actually quite a treat, I think.
Murray's great, and he's not a strict disciplinarian as to the theme to some golf courses or whatever. I mean, yes, there are rules, country clubs, that sort of thing. But Murray's got that nasty in him, right? He's got that AM nasty in him.
Yeah, yeah.
So we thank him for hosting yesterday. And again, you mentioned the rules. I was talking to Trev before the show. You don't need somebody sinking that puppy, and then we go back and say,
Oh no,
3
that
feet.
would have been okay.
I mean,
well, let's set it up. Let's set it up. We talked about it a bit on the hangout yesterday, but Jasmine, when she went to tee up the ball,
yes,
because don't forget, Maddie's down on the green with his phone in his hand,
yes,
videotaping. But we could also see the live feed that the viewers were watching as well. So Maddie's like, oh God, she's ahead of the tee markers, and from the side camera angle,
my God,
he's like, you can clearly see it. You can clearly see. So Matt's like, Trev, because him and Trev were in on the
tried
ear.
my best.
And then I text Dusty. I called Dusty. Nothing, because obviously he's in the middle of a show,
it's
right?
Weird. Why would we want to know what's going on at the other side?
Why would you want to hear from me at that point?
Phone's off.
Yeah. So Matt was like, oh God, please don't. I'm so sorry, Jasmine, but we were relieved.
Yeah, in the end, Brad's $1,000 richer, and the details matter. Not like it's a funny, but it just goes to show and we kind of laugh at the fine print, and if somebody sings you can, but all of these things, you're right. When there's that much of a purse on the line, you kind of got to go off by the rules. But Brad gets it 35 feet 3 inches with a 6-iron. And he walks out of there with $1,000. It was nice. He was the son of a father-son duo that both qualified and got in. So that was kind of a neat little morning.
And it was funny because his ball, it said Brad O. right on. You know how people have fancy ball stamps?
Yeah.
His said Brad O. So Murray's like, well, it's hard to dispute this one, whose ball this is. But no, Timber Woodsman, I did not take a poke, nor did my partner in crime here, Eric.
No.
But two of our colleagues did. And
Oh, boy, did they ever.
Dustin Nielson. Did you see Surveyor Brett posted a video on Twitter of Dustin swing from the side? It looked good.
But you got to see.
Very surprised by that.
You need the Derek Reed redo of that video.
I saw,
below
yeah.
with the commentating. Dusty was a good swing. Tom, on the other hand, I don't know if you guys want to dive into his performance there on the.
Well,
on the 17th.
okay, Tom. For all the crap we give Tom, he has been working his off with the Oilers going in the deep run and whatnot, right? So he hasn't even had a chance to swing.
He helped you sign up yesterday, the people coming.
He did. Yes, he
nice of
did.
him.
Yeah. Actually, I helped him, I think. But he said it was his first swing of the year.
That's pretty good on July 4th for Tom Gazzola, I would say.
And we were sitting right behind him, and it was on target. It was just probably 60 yards too short.
Yeah, he's not getting the 1,000.
He's
not even the
getting
10.
that. But no, I thought, you know what? It was what a beautiful day for it. What a beautiful place. I feel like when you drive into the ranch, have you been to the ranch, Trev?
No, I have not.
Okay.
Hopefully soon. Well, obviously next week
Tuesday.
we'll be there, but definitely want to get out there.
When you drive off the main drag into the ranch, it's just this tree-covered. It's almost like a Magnolia Lane at the Masters in Augusta when you're driving into it. It's very picturesque.
It feels like the intro to some sort of 80s television show or something. There should be credits rolling as you kind of drive in the winding road,
or like you're entering the house of a cartel. Boss.
Yeah, you may never leave.
You may never get out.
Well, that's what we call Murray, the cartel boss around here. He does kind of, he gives off the vibes, but no. We want to thank Murray Golf Town as well. Everybody for coming out yesterday. I think everybody kind of had a good time. It was a little nervy, of course, first thing in the morning. A lot of people hadn't had their first cup of coffee. I could tell kind of the nerves. It was kind of like this quiet, this calm but tense situation.
It was tense.
But once a few people get swinging or whatever, it opens things up, and near the end.
And there was some birdie boos on the tee box.
Oh, was there ever? I was delighted to see. Somebody got a 6 o'clocker logger as well. There was a can out there, but the birdie boost was flowing. One dude was smoking a pom-pom, which I really like. I mean, it was all going on. It was nasty.
Cal in the park.
Cal in the park, yes, exactly.
Yeah. Nice to meet you, Cal. Thanks for coming up and saying. And nice to meet. You know what? It was funny. We were just doing so many things that I wish I had more time just to go and meet everybody.
Exactly.
And
it kind of went
hi, because everybody there has a handle, which is I think hilarious. And you know them more by the handle than you would their real name, obviously.
You wait until the Nasty Bash later this month at the St. Albert Rugby Club.
Yeah.
That's where you really, in the name tags and everything, and it's like, it's ships in the night, and introducing them to each other. Oh, you're this, that kind of thing. Timber Woodsman says, I want to know how far my shot went. I was to the right of the hole, red LP Kirkland ball. Do you have any info on that? Can you drum up from the memory bank? But sorry, Timber Woodsman, it's not all official scoring here. Is kind of doing it by the
his right
hip.
would be our left because we were standing behind the green. Yeah. There was one that went over our head. Is that the one you're talking about?
I remember that one.
Which was a well-struck golf shot. And the funniest thing about that is, I don't know. It was perfect sky for being able to watch the ball come
and nice
in.
and calm. Yeah.
And Murray and Matt had. I give Matt. He's holding the camera. He's focused elsewhere, but Murray had no idea where this is. And I'm like, boys, this is coming in hot. Like, it's going to go over the green right where we're standing. And Murray just does this and ducks and holds his head, and Matt's freaking out. I'm sure if you watch the replay, you'll see that. But okay, that wasn't you. I don't know then. I don't know. There was a few in the bunker.
Yeah, a few made it onto the sand. I think we outside of Tom, there was one other in the water. I think too.
Yes.
One other person. But look, pretty successful. And again, it's one shot, one chance, and I think everybody kind of had a good time. And it was nice to see everybody out there as well. Thank you to the ranch, Murray, the staff, and Golf Town as well for making this happen. And as mentioned, Trev, of course, locking it down here. He will be with us and the Nasties and the EST staff at the EST Classic, first annual memorial inaugural EST Golf Classic, and that's Tuesday, July 9th, out at the ranch. Shotgun start 8 a.m. We will be on the air 6 to 8. in which it'll be an abbreviated Nielsen show that day and then a full day of fun. And as mentioned right now for Tuesday, July 9th, I know the long-range forecast sometimes can be a bit of a thing, but 30 degrees, a humidex of 33, and nothing but sun. Bit of a breeze out of the southeast to kind of air those pits out. So that'll be that'll be nice.
hot.
Hopefully that sticks. Yes, the ranch is a public course. Great place to go and even drink or eat if you're not. I mean, I take it from me. I don't swing the sticks. I like a good time and hanging out with people, but the food and the bar, unmatched vibes out there on the patio at the ranch. So yeah, if you haven't been, golf or not, it's just a great place to go and hang out. Good people, good folks, good staff. 780-218-9999. I know we did have a final spot in the EST Classic yesterday on the Nielsen Show. That went within about 40 minutes. So
yes,
we're all locked up. We're all full up, booked up. I think we know who we'll kind of be paired with in terms of us and the foursomes out there. So keep an eye on your inbox if you are in the tournament. Matty Iwanek might have a few more instructions as we approach Tuesday, July 9th, the first annual EST Golf Classic at the Ranch Golf and Country Club.
And if you haven't, smash that thumbs up button in celebration of the EST Memorial First Annual Golf Tournament, Golf Classic.
If you were swinging
EST.
yesterday, for sure, hit the likes. If you liked what you saw, hit the likes. If you didn't like what you saw, hit the likes. And where are we at on subs, Trev? We're at 9.3K right now. Did we eclipse a marker overnight, or
Let's see here.
we've got to be close to that 9.4? We got to be sniffing.
9,304.
Okay.
Well,
Well, here's what you should do, because I think you explained it very eloquently at the meeting on Wednesday. Or is this being redundant? Have you already talked
he
about
was
this
plus
on the
two,
show?
was he not?
You were, you were +2.
Yeah.
I mean, round of clicks, yeah,
I got
sure.
second place. Not bad. I'll take it.
But you said that. What did you say about it?
Yeah, so we're finding that a lot of people that are returning viewers, so it's not that they're just randomly, coming across EST. They're watching every single day, but it goes off of, I was just basing the numbers off of the Nielsen show, but still 60% of you guys that watch every single day aren't subscribed, but you're returning. So it's like, if you're returning, you might as well subscribe.
Put your camera up there. I want you to talk to them.
Gosh.
And
Oh,
look,
gosh.
look right
Take
at
your
them.
hat
and
off
point.
like a
Do a
real
lot of
man.
pointing. I want you, because this is good info that you're given, and I think people need to see it in your eyes while you do this screed here. Come on, hit them.
I
Hit
don't
them
know
with
if
this.
this
Hit them with
requires
Come on.
this, but
Stare right at them. Stare into their souls.
so what are you doing? You need to subscribe, okay? Please, for the love of God. But the numbers, we just looking at the numbers, all of you guys, the majority of you guys keep on coming back. And for whatever reason, you're not subscribing. So please, if not for me, for LT, can you subscribe?
Do it for Trev. You heard it from his mouth there. You saw it in his eyes. He was on the camera. He was good enough to do it. Hit the sub. And as he mentioned, if you are coming back daily, it doesn't cost anything. We don't send you any junk mail in the, you're not opening your mailbox. Oh, I got all this crap from YouTube. There's really no strings attached.
Zero strings.
It's none. So hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. It's right below. You'll see it now. CFL Week 5 preview and the little bell. I'm subscribed, and I've also liked today. So be like us. Hit the sub. Hit the like. And as YouTube Trev mentioned, it goes a long way.
And happy 4th of July. I mean, let's smash the thumbs up for celebration.
For the Yanks,
to our
eh?
friends to the
Yeah.
south. In honor of that, I've reposted one of the most famous 4th of July clips of Terry lighting off fireworks in the middle of the street.
Are we having the...
This is a legend here. This is the one. This is the...
But where are we at with again, we got $100,000 on our mind. The Nathan's hot dog, Joey Chestnut thing, he's done now, right? We're not having any performance today. He's talking about a Netflix Labor Day special. We used to 4th of July was Joey Chestnut Day, and he'd have the big intro, Coney Island. The guy would be dressed up like Uncle Sam. Here he is.
Don't take money from a vegan company. That might offend some of the hot dog world. Hot dog world has a point here.
Is there anything pure anymore?
No.
As we're talking about processed food eating contests.
Yeah. Right?
I just missed that. So I hope Chestnut's having an okay 4th of July. He's got to be up to something.
I hope Chestnut's crying in his room right now because he screwed everybody.
Starving
with
today.
him taking a bag.
No hot dogs for you.
But that guy, he must not make a lot of money doing what he does because that guy eats everything.
Oh, yeah.
Or anyone.
Well,
I'm sure we could bring him up here. Okay, here's a question. If you could have Joey Chestnut eat one thing, and EST brings him up for a 1 day challenge, can Joey Chestnut eat this many marshmallows?
100 donaires.
Or what? Yeah, donaires. You chime in on the nasty chat, chime in the Paris Jewelers inbox. I'd like to see what everybody thinks here.
10,000 green onion cakes. You've been to MajorLeagueEating.com, have you? The league in which... This is great. I wouldn't mind an MLE franchise up here, to be honest. Screw Chestnut. Give me a team of Major League Eaters up here repping Edmonton. Adam Morin, Mickey Sudo, to name a few. 780-218-9999. I'd say it's the donair meat. Not even a donair's wrapped up, just a big plate of donair meat.
100 pounds of donair meat.
See how much you can get through. Berlando chimes in. I think I was 3 yards short. Look, much like a fishing tail, you tell us. 3 yards, 3 feet, more like Berlando,
Hold on. Breaking news. Lucas, I believe, your brother is in the Paris Jewelers inbox. Morning, guys. How about a conch for our parents celebrating their anniversary today? Woo. Wow. Beautiful. You know what? We half-assed that one. We're going to do it again. We're going to give him 1.5 conches.
Ron and Sandy, this one's coming for you.
Happy anniversary. You know what they say about people with anniversaries on Independence Day, hey?
The day America gained its independence, I lost mine, my dad says every 4th of July, which is a great anecdote around the household. Yeah, happy anniversary to my folks. And Luke, if you're listening, what do you want for supper tonight? As he'll be coming over to watch the Riders Argos game. Well, CFL Week 5. And I had to cancel on Quinn, of course, the commish, doing a beer lunch tonight, too, I believe at Arcadia.
What's the beer lunch?
I don't know if I should be saying this out loud. Making a beer, some sort of beer. I was just going to go down to drink the beer. I didn't really know. I was expecting to be filled in on the details after I arrived, not so much before. But yeah, so I had to kind of bounce on that. But yeah, so should be good. Luke, get at me. You can text on the personal phone. We don't need to go through the PJ inbox anymore if you don't want. But
yeah. Do it. I want to see. I want to see how this goes. I want to see how the minds of these two brothers go.
If you were out on the course yesterday too, and you want to chime in your distance from the pin, as mentioned, kind of a fishtails theme, do that as well. We'll read them. We'll have fun with that. 6:30. We'll be back here shortly. Maybe a farm report from Jay as well, as we always appreciate when he's in and what's going around the compound. 6:40, Glen Suitor, CFL and TSN, getting you going early this morning. We're going to dive into Week 5, mostly on the field stuff with Glenn. I know Naylor, a lot of things going on around the league off the field, so we'll get his thoughts and opinions on that. But Glen Suitor live from Regina, kicking off Week 5, alongside Dustin Nielson in the booth this evening on TSN for the Riders and Argos. So he'll join us around 6:40. It is the Nielson Show, presented by South Fort Chev, Popeye's Louisiana Kitchen Studio here. 6:31, we'll get to a sports update from Jay and be back. A little more talk, a little more farm report, and Glen Suitor to round out the hour.
In the CEBL last night, that's the Canadian Elite Basketball League, the Winnipeg Sea Bears fend off a late comeback attempt for their 4th straight win as they defeat your Edmonton Stingers 102-101. Jessica Campbell becomes the first full-time assistant coach in the NHL, as she will be on the bench for the Seattle Kraken. She was also the first female behind an AHL bench as an assistant coach at Coachella Valley. NFL free agency continued on, where the Red Wings signed Vladimir Tarasenko to a 2-year deal at $4.75 million per year. Tarasenko was arguably the best unrestricted free agent remaining. And court papers have indicated that former Raptor Jonte Porter will be charged with a federal felony connected to the sports betting scandal that prompted the NBA to ban him for life. Across the pond at Wimbledon, the second round kicks off today as Canadian Denis Shapovalov takes on Daniel Altmaier. That match is currently underway. We are tied at 2 sets apiece last time I checked. I'll probably have the final score for you at the next update. In the third of a 4-game set with the Astros, the Blue Jays fall 9-2. The 4th game of the series go later this morning as Chris Bassett takes to the mound. First pitch goes at 11:07. In the Western Canadian Baseball League, the Edmonton Prospects travel to Okotoks to take on the Dogs. First pitch is at 7:05 from Seaman Stadium. In CFL news, the Double E stay busy on their bye week as they sign two-time East Division All-Star Sean Oakman. He's expected to bolster the Elks' defensive line and should be ready for their next game, Week 5 of the CFL, as LTE alluded to, kicks off tonight in Saskatchewan, where the undefeated Rough Riders host the 2-1 Argonauts. Catch Dusty and his best friend, Glen Suitor, on the call for TSN. That game kicks off at 7 p.m.
The Nielson Show with Dustin Nielson and Lieutenant Eric. On EdmontonSportsTalk.com.
Nielson Show, EdmontonSportsTalk.com. Yeah, you want to get on the table and start doing it. This is good stuff, eh?
This will get you moving.
I don't mind. Maybe we just do this, do Suitor over top of this, eh?
Yeah. I wonder what he'd do. I wonder if
he'd be confused to say the least.
I wonder if he'd buy in. And
you know,
just
after a while,
remember at raves when people used to have a fake ball in their hand and they dance with it?
Give it to you, pass it over
pass
to me,
it back.
pass it over to me. I think if we just told Suits that Dusty liked it, he'd be all over it. That burgeoning friendship continues. Nielson Show, Lieutenant Eric, Jason Milne, YouTube Trev behind the monitors, presented by Southford Chevrolet and the Popeyes Louisiana Kitchen Studio. We are hunting as well for that text of the day, so get them in, 780-218-9999. If you usually reside in the nasty chat on YouTube, once again, hit the like, hit the sub. But if you got something clever to say like semen, as to the stadium that the Prospects will be playing at.
That's where the dogs, the Okotoks dogs.
Dogs, baby. Get it in to the Paris Jewelers inbox, and you might be richer in A&W credits this morning.
Those Okotoks dogs love the semen.
They sure do. Well, it's a beautiful stadium.
It's a
very
gorgeous
nice
facility.
place to play ball, and here's Corey B. I'd say I hit about 47 yards. A little more honesty from him than most maybe people.
I'd say right now that's the
birthday boy.
the Paris Jewelers inbox,
the honest text of the
inbox
day.
message of the day so far, because that was about right. And I'd say that might even be a little long, Corey.
I said fishtails. He's giving himself a little credit there, maybe. Eh? Like a few. Let's be honest. A few didn't really make it off the tee box, kind of into the shrubbery. It was good that we were behind and not kind of directly to the side, or else we would have gotten hit a couple of times. I think.
Yeah, there was some questionable ones for sure, and a few that didn't quite make it over the ladies' tee box, which, I'm surprised we didn't see more action on that.
I can't talk. I got no room to talk at all, so I'm not even, But everybody, a good time, and I can't wait to do this puppy again. And of course, a trial run for EST. A lot of these things. This is our first summer here at the station, kind of doing all these things. It's fun, but as time moves on, we will master them and smooth out those rough edges. 780-218-9999 is the number to text. Of course, Glenn Suitor on the way in a matter of minutes. Luke Gazdic at 7:05, and Dave Naylor to round out hour number 2 as well. And we got some hot takes. Stingers tickets as well we'll be giving away in the third hour. As Jay mentioned in the sports update, they fell last night by a point out in Winnipeg. Winnipeg now picking up their 4th straight win, nipping on the heels of the Stingers. They are a game back right now with a game in hand. Stingers 9-4. And they will take on Vancouver tomorrow, a huge matchup, 1st and 2nd in the West, down at the Hangar. So we have tickets for that coming up later in the show, probably in hour 3 sometime, either before or after the That Hurts segment, and that's ahead of hot takes as well, when the potholder will be on the line today, LTE VYTT, in a 1v1 winner-take-all, and I do believe Joaquin Gage, the judge, will be in with his garb and everything else. So a fun show here on a Thursday, and of course, as mentioned, a little bit football-heavy, but we won't shy away from the hockey talk as well. In just a few minutes before Glenn here, you had it in the update, Tarasenko, 2 years, $9.5 million. Trev, too, I just, speaking with McCord this morning on the Bear and whether or not that's run yet, the Panthers won it. They're done. It's one of those things where guys move on, right? You've climbed the mountain, you've climbed the hill. It's kind of the opposite of what the Oilers are seeing with everybody joining back for the stretch run. This is kind of maybe what we might be seeing in a year or two with the Oilers, but that's the price of winning, I guess. But Trev, your thoughts? Tarasenko or even the Red Wings and what they're doing this offseason?
Well, yeah, like I think that you look at Tampa. Tampa did a really good job at keeping their core together and even the role guys together for a long time. But you're not really seeing that for Florida. It looks like their window was like 2 years.
Yeah.
And they're going to be a competitive team, but you lose Vladimir Tarasenko, who obviously they acquired at the deadline, but he was a good fit in that lineup.
Yep. And
then you lose Brandon Montour, who had a career year last year there. I think it was like 70 points he got, like a quiet 70-point season. And then he finished first in defensive scoring last playoffs, not this one, but last year's playoffs. So, yeah, and he's a crucial player. And then you got Ryan Lomberg as well. So a lot lot of, I mean, he was kind of
Lomberg. Hey, RCN, where are you? Big off season here. Eh?
But yeah, so you're gonna. That's part of being a winning team, right? It's tough to keep these guys together, and that's why it's just. The majority of people are just blown away what Jeff Jackson was able to do, because I didn't have, like, the fact that he was able to keep that whole third line
and then add.
Yeah. Like, that was just so impressive. So it'll be interesting to see what Florida does next year. But yeah, they're definitely not going to be as good as a team, I believe.
And Tarasenko too, more of a, as you mentioned, picked up a mercenary type, not a core guy or anything such as that. But yeah, your thoughts. And Jeff Skinner, I mean, I know kind of the buzz and the hub is around him and some of the comments he's made, and some of these guys like Skinner and Arvidsson choosing Edmonton as opposed to some other destinations around the league. And I think more so now it's for the club. I don't say that Jeff Skinner is coming here for the River Valley per se, although perhaps he might discover it and enjoy it. But let's be honest, this team is where they're at right now and probably best positioned league-wide, not even Western Conference. I'm talking both right now with the Panthers out of the way. This is the team closest to the Cup. I don't know if you boys heard Desharnais' comments too. I felt really bad for him. He just kind of was, I wanted to go to a team that's in the mix and all these things. The Canucks aren't the Oilers, and he was trying to say some good things, trying to kind of mention that, and good for him. I mean, look, and he kind of, you can argue pricing himself out and the Oilers going a different way, but I think for him too, listening to his words and listening to the tone, I was just like, you want to be around the party, you can't be, and you're trying to bring up a case why this party's better than the winning one. So,
well, you just sometimes when you take the bag, it comes with obviously some changes of scenery.
Sure.
And that it's funny that saying that now for the in the case of the Edmonton Oilers, for how many years did you hear? Oh, they can't attract the big free agents. They can't get people to come to the barren lands of the Arctic.
Yeah.
In Edmonton, but now, well, yeah, that's what winning does.
Winning,
right?
It's all winning. And I glanced to the football team here that calls Edmonton home as well.
I was just going to say that.
Because,
I was just going to say that. Yep.
And we've been in the mines. I still have soot on some of my clothing from the decade of darkness, or decades, if you will, surrounding this hockey team. So, yeah, winning helps. Clearly, and that's kind of what you're seeing here with the theme, and I mean, anytime a player can kind of mention Edmonton over Toronto in terms of a hockey sense, we get a little excited here as well. Our first guest of the day, I think he's in the bullpen. Quite a conversation. Is there anything you'd like to share with us on air, Trevor? More of a
so I think going forward next time I'll have to get this prepared.
Okay.
I'm just gonna put my volume down. Sorry. But yeah, he was requesting for the "You've Got a Friend in Me" intro song, so we'll definitely have that next time. I don't think I can whip it out right now, but next time, going forward, that's the goal.
You're no stranger to Billy Buds. Have you sung that tune at all? Can you give us a rendition?
I don't know. A little early in the morning.
I'll give you a tune. You got a friend in me. You got a friend in me. Daddy, bow. You got a friend in me.
Who is that guy that sings that?
Randy Newman.
Eating
the apple.
Yeah.
Lady coming over.
Just such a beautiful voice.
Glenn's good to go.
Almost as beautiful as the voice of
teed up
what we're about to hear.
You masseuse here. It is TSN, CFL and TSN's Glen Suitor, taking the time on the road, on the beat, early riser, and we love him for that. Joining us live down in Regina, the site of the kickoff to Week 5 Riders and Argos tonight on TSN. And Glenn, we got to start. I got to ask, you and Dusty out at Memories last night, or what was the play last night down in the Queen City?
Well, this is why I was requesting this song, gentlemen, because, I thought Randy Newman could help maybe pull us together some more. I'm just not sure. I need all the help I can get. I'm trying. I'm doing stuff like carrying his bag whenever we're in the airport together. I'm always driving him to the games, and when I pull up, it's not that we can just park and walk up together. I got to drive him right to the door, and I drop him off, and then I go back and park, and so all of that. And I thought, we go to Memories last night in Regina, and he's a no-show, and I think, well, what's going on? It can't be because of the tab, because I always pick that up. So I just thought, man, okay, I'm not sure what it is. And then I found out that he came in late from Edmonton and was at the hotel. So I just thought a little, You've Got a Friend in Me might help pull us together a little bit better. But I'll just keep working at it, guys. I'm just going to keep working at it, keep chipping away at this monster tree that just will not fall yet.
Does he at least tip you? I mean, you must be making tips.
Yeah, no tips. No tips.
No tips.
Oh, wow.
No tips. Actually, I must say, Suits, that I think he was in his bedroom all night arguing on Twitter about who's better, MJ or LeBron.
You have the receipts.
I have the receipts. So, when you see him, just say, really? Really?
Michael Jordan, it's not even close. Let's not even talk about it.
Wow.
Okay?
No, it's right. He throws it down with the left hand.
Michael Jordan, no question, not even a discussion. And I got a chance to meet Michael Jordan. I'll tell you guys a quick story. I was covering the basketball team in Vancouver when the NBA was in Vancouver, and the Grizzlies were there. And Michael Jordan came in, and I asked him once the scrum kind of broke and we were almost one-on-one, and I asked him, how do you motivate yourself for a game against a team that has won one game in, their first 30 outings? And he goes, I'll show you an article. And he pulls an article out of his bag where one of the Grizzlies had said a week earlier that when the Bulls and Michael Jordan show up, he's going to shut down Jordan on defense. And Jordan said, every city I go to, there's a guy that wants to shut me down. And that's how I get motivated for every game. And he went out and scored I think it was 45, and they won by 30 going away. But, Jordan had another one of those nights. And so and when you line up all the awards and championships and everything else, come on, guys, not even close. It's like when people make an argument that Connor McDavid isn't the best player in the world. Come on. It's not close. It's not even close.
You should bring that up if you want to fluster. Said Dustin Nielson.
Great television tonight.
Yeah, bring that up right in the middle of the broadcast, and just watch his eyes go to the back of his head, literally live on TV.
Maybe just a gentle comparison, sprinkled throughout the game.
Yes,
right?
yes.
MJ, that's just Michael Jordan-esque in a way, Glenn, tonight.
I'll see if I can work it in.
Is Shea Patterson the next GOAT in MJ?
Could be.
He's
the
next
looking a lot like
CFL
MJ
GOAT.
here. Yeah.
Yeah, we're going to look at some young quarterbacks over the next couple of games. Shea Patterson's one of them. Of course, Trevor Harris is down, as you know. But I think the best matchup in this Rider game tonight is going to be A.J. Oled, whose nickname is Thor, versus Winton McManus, who's the middle linebacker for the Argos, and maybe the best middle linebacker in the game. And I just two really physical guys, former teammates, and it is going to be a matchup to watch. The game inside the game.
Well, and that's whenever you have a defense that can expand a Sean Oakman and say, hey, we'll just send you to waivers and away we go. That's got to be saying something. So you mentioned there, I mean, I think both quarterbacks as well, Shea Patterson, a bit of a college pedigree, but from what we've seen from Cameron Dukes over the first couple of weeks has been pretty encouraging with everything going on there. So, a great matchup to kick off week 5 tonight, Suits, and you'll be on the call with Dusty, 7 o'clock down in Regina. We do have a listener-submitted question in our YouTube Nasty Chat. Comes in from Pat. Asks Suits, what 0-4 is going to win first, the Elks or the Bombers? And I got, again, as we kind of go down the docket here, Ottawa in Winnipeg for Friday Night Football, Glenn. It seems like more of a blip in Winnipeg with now Caleros, the thorax injury. Of course, Brady Oliveira kind of in and out earlier on the season. They're bringing back Lucky Whitehead, but What's the temperature like in Winnipeg now? Because that 0-4, it's not an 0-1 or an 0-2. This thing's kind of getting a little real here before our eyes.
Yeah, it really is. And that to me is the biggest surprise of the start of the season. A team that has been to the championship 4 straight years, and just, everyone has talked and raved about their culture and how, where they can still make substitutions throughout those years and never miss a beat. And yet they are big time now. The one thing that is certain about football is that there's tons of uncertainty. And when you allow a couple of positions, I'll say it's not across the board, but there are a couple of positions like Stanley Bryant at tackle, and even Big Hill and Willie Jefferson, guys like that. Household names in our league that are getting up there. They're getting up there in age, and then you put in a whole bunch of rookies around them that are raw rookies, and this is the type of thing that can happen. I think, to answer your question, the team that can bounce back quicker is actually Edmonton.
Yeah.
I really do. I still would love to see Trey Ford, it's not McLeod Bethel Thompson's fault that they're 0-4, but he's such a dynamic athlete. Like, talk about the great athletes like Michael Jordan, and I'm not comparing Trey Ford to Michael Jordan, but I'm saying that might be a stretch where I do get a weird look from Dustin. But I'm saying that he did things athletically last year that I have not seen in my time in the game, and I just haven't seen it from any other player, and that includes Doug Flutie and guys that could really move, even Warren Moon and guys like that. But he did some magic acts on the field physically that you just can't. I just never seen, and yet he's nailed to the bench in Edmonton. And again, McLeod Bethel Thompson to me has played and done what they wanted him to do. He's put over 300 yards on the board, game in and game out. He's put him in a position to win. All of those things. I just love to see some sort of package or something with Trey Ford.
Well, yeah, you're taking the words right out of my mouth, because I mean, with Matawanek, we have the green and gold kickoff show and post game show for every Elks game that is on in the regular season and hopefully in the playoffs. But that had been brought up several times, and I want to know is there something more deep to this, that there's at least not a package in place for an athlete. An athletic quarterback like Trey Ford. I agree. McLeod Bethel Thompson is the quarterback. He's the guy that's going to stand in the pocket and deliver the ball, and he's proven that he's very capable of that. Trey Ford gives you a much more dynamic offense and an opportunity to showcase different parts of the Elks offense. What do you think, and why is the reasoning coming from a football mind like yourself as to why Jarius Jackson does not have, 2 or 3 series a game where they switch it up and throw Trey Ford in there?
Yeah, it's a great question. And, I think when you look back to last year and Taylor Cornelius going, 0-8, I think it was to start the season, or 0-9, before they made the substitution to Trey Ford, then you could really make an argument that it was the quarterback that was the issue. And again, not to blame Cornelius for all those losses. I'm just saying that the play at the quarterback position wasn't at a level that was giving that team hope to win. But this year, there is hope with McLeod Bethel Thompson and the numbers that he's putting up. So that's the dilemma for the coaching staff, that they're making a change to see a guy that we all know is dynamic and athletically just so gifted, and yet their quarterback is not the problem. So, I think that's the tricky part this year that wasn't part of this decision last year. But to answer your question about, is there anything else going on? I don't think so. I've heard rumors that Trey doesn't necessarily want to be considered a gimmick quarterback, like a short yardage guy or something. But that doesn't have anything to do with anything really, because even if it's true, and I don't think it is, the coaching staff makes those decisions, and a player doesn't get a chance to say yes or no. It's up to the coaching staff to say, we've got a package for you. It's going to be in the second quarter, and you're going to run 3 series in a row, and here's the play package, and you're going to do it. And the player has no choice in that. He's either hurt and not able to dress, or he's going to do the things that the coach asks him to do. So that's a non-story to me. I did hear rumors of it, but I think it's not true, and it's a non-story. So I don't think there's anything really sinister going on there. I think they're just saying McLeod Bethel Thompson isn't the reason we're losing, so why would we make a change there? I think it's as simple as that.
Glen Suitor from the CFL and TSN joining us. It is the Nielson Show. Lieutenant Eric, Jason Milne, and YouTube Trev with you. Let's continue on that theme, Glenn, specifically the Elks, and with a bye week, time to discuss, and a move made yesterday in which the Elks bringing in Sean Oakman, 3 years with the Toronto Argonauts, 32-year-old former Baylor Bear, 18 sacks over those 3 years. I'm still a big believer, Glenn, in Robert Kamdichi on that defensive line. I think you also take a look at a guy like Elliott Brown. Speak to me about Oakman. Why did the Argos jettison away from him? I mean, during the offseason, he was a bit of a prize. They let him go to free agency. Nothing really happened. Is it a numbers game in Toronto? And speak to the importance now. And I know we were talking about the offense with the Elks, which have been putting up points and numbers. How far will this go in improving specifically the defense and the team as a whole?
Yeah, it'll be a big help because the more you can keep your D line fresh, the better you better chance of winning in the fourth quarter, and that's a big part of why Toronto was as good as they've been over the last couple of years, especially in defense. They're a physical team. He's a real physical player. Like he doesn't just tackle. He strikes you and hits you, and that's can wear an offense and a running back down. But most importantly, I think it's for that rotation to keep it fresh. Their defense has to be better. Let's be honest. I mean, and it's sort of the key moments in games. Like they'll play great for 2.5 quarters, and then they'll give up 2 scores in the second quarter, and then at the end of the game, when they have a 4-point lead, they get a pass interference call. And that's because not just because they're young. They're in game 4 now, so that excuse doesn't count anymore. So now what they have to start saying is, why are we having these issues with the game on the line, like a pass interference call at the wrong time or whatever? And that's either 2 things. It's either a selfish approach by a player, and if that's the case, you got to make a change. And if it's not a selfish approach, then it's technique. It's that the player has just not got it. It's his technique is not working, and that's causing him to draw some penalty flags at the wrong time. Because when the game's on the line, that's when the receivers give you their best, and guys like Vernon Adams drop dimes on you, and you have to be in position and don't grab the guy. So, that's been Edmonton's issue. That's why, when I look at the team, you add Oakman to this group, athletically, they're a very good football team. That's why I think they can come out of this faster than even Winnipeg. And that's saying something based on their last 4 years.
One other team as well that we mentioned, out west, Winnipeg and Edmonton 0-4, but the Hamilton Tiger Cats as well. And I'd argue a respectable 0-4 in a sense, in which, if receivers caught a couple balls some game. Bo Levi Mitchell has been playing lights out as long as he stays healthy here. Do they get it over the line this week, Glenn, as they round out week 5 at home to the 3-1 BC Lions Sunday evening?
Yeah, they've deserved better for sure. Of the 3 teams that are over, which by the way has never happened in CFL history at this time in the regular season, that 3 teams have not won a game. And Hamilton's one of those teams. And when you look at their games, I would say them and Edmonton have been the 2 closest and had a chance to win 2, maybe even 3 of the games to start the season. So Bo is playing well. I think Bo is back. Tim White, their best receiver, just got in his own head for 3 weeks.
Yeah.
And it's so weird because they need to get him 10 to 12, maybe even 14 touches a game, or at least targets. And, if he catches 10 of them, they probably win. And he just was in his own head, and it happens. I'm not sure it ever happened to Michael Jordan, but I guarantee it happens to all pro athletes. and that was really their issue. And it looks like he's back though, because in Ottawa he had a big game.
Yep, he kind of woke up there in a sense. 118 yards, a touchdown, 12 targets. He reeled in 8 of those. So maybe this is, and again, if he wakes up and the way Bo's playing healthy, they're cooking with something there for sure. Jason.
Well, and you know, I hate to bring it up because it's now old news, but I mean that squib kick in Hamilton. I mean, I was watching that live and
You're pulling your...
I was literally like, what's going on? Is this a mistake? Is this I mean, you're immediately putting the opposing team in scoring position with it's in a 1-point game.
And they've since fired their special teams coordinator. I mean,
obviously there was a change that needed to be made there, but it's funny, you know, because you say with Edmonton, there's problems. Is it you know, issues with, you know, your focus? Is it issues with your, you know, your players being in the right positions? And here you have a situation where, you know, somebody on the coaching staff let that team
tough call
down.
Yep.
And I mean, I just wanted to add that to the conversation because that was just a heartbreaker. Speaking of tough losses for the teams, you know, for the Ticats to go through that.
Well, gentlemen, I'll say this about that rule.